Good, beautiful morning, everybody. Silas back again today. We got a busy one ahead of us. I got a lot going on. My truck is broke down right now. It's in the shop getting a bunch of work done again. It's a never-ending process on that poor truck. I'd really like to replace it soon. But anyway, I'm out here at my place again. Skylar's here. He's going to haul a bunch of loads of cars in for me. I've got a big mountain of them that are ready to go, and we need to ship some stuff in. Also today, the 65 Impala has found a new home. He's on his way now from out of town to pick it up. I got to air the tire up on the back. The other three actually still hold air from when we aired it up to drag it out of that garage. Only one of them went flat. So I got to air that up real quick, and then he's going to be here in a little bit. We'll get it loaded up and sent out. I'll do one last walk around to this car. Boy, this is a cool car. He's going to fix it up, and luckily he's a somewhat local guy, so I'll actually be able to see the car once he's done with it. But a true survivor. Just a plain Jane car, 6-cylinder automatic, no options at all hardly. They did add cruise control at some point in time, but other than that, there's no options on this car. We tried to get it running the other day, and I'm pretty sure all the plugs are bad. It's getting spark on the points, and we put fuel in the carburetor and it still won't start, so I'm guessing that the plugs are fouled up or something like that. Yeah, I'm definitely glad to see it go to a good home. Yeah, I can't believe it. All the tires held air, except for that one there. So I'm going to air it up real quick with my handy dandy air compressor. These Milwaukee air compressors are absolutely amazing. You just screw the little deal onto the valve stem, and then you just program it to whatever air pressure you want it to go to. I just want this to go to 25 pounds, enough to get it on his trailer. And then you hit start. There we go. Aired right up to 25 pounds. That'll roll right up on his trailer. It held air for probably a week last time, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, this is the handiest little unit here. Used about half a battery to air that tire up from completely flat to 25 pounds. So it works great if you have a flat tire or something like that you need to put, and especially if you have multiple batteries. Sean has come to get cars. Sean's the one that told me about these, actually, my buddy that helps me all the time. He's come to get cars out here before that'll have 4 flat tires, and he's got the little bit bigger battery, 2 of them. And those 2 batteries will air up all 4 tires on those cars from complete flat to like that, to where they have 25-30 pounds in them. Handiest little things here. I just have the 1 battery. And what I mainly use mine for is, like, when I first got this, it was just getting to the colder weather. And the car my wife drives, all 4 tires in it were about 5 pounds low. So I was able to take this outside, set it to the pound I wanted it to be. I think it was 40 pounds, something like that. Or 35, somewhere in that range. I just set it where it needed to be, put it on there, started it, went back in the house, came back out a few minutes later, switched it to the next one, started it, went back in the house. That way you don't just have to sit there. And then another time, I went out and my truck tire was really low. I had a nail in it. So at that point in time, I got 2 options. Either I can get out the jack and the impact and jack the truck up, take the wheel off, put the spare on, do all that. Or I could drag the extension cord and my compressor and everything outside and run the extension cord out of the garage and go outside and do all that. And both of those are very time consuming. But now that I have this, I was able just to grab this, go out there, put it on there, air it back up to enough pressure to get it to the tire shop, and let them worry about it. Way simpler that way. I highly recommend these. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that. I just really like this product. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to buy one. And I'll also put a link to the little bit bigger battery that you can use in these, because this little 2 amp hour battery is okay for stuff like this, but if you're going to use it a bunch, or you have multiple tires you want to air up, you're going to want the bigger battery. One other thing I forgot to mention, as you can see on there, it's got all the little attachments, so you can attach it to other things as well. These are super handy for stuff like that. Skylar's over there by the pile of cars that we're going to send today, and he's pulling off aluminum wheels because that's all that's left on them. I already drained the gas, pulled the converters, batteries, all that sort of stuff. Here's the cars we're going to ship, all these ones that have the roof smashed in. These were all cars that were on the property when I bought it. That's why they all have numbers on them. I came in here and processed these quite a while ago with the excavator, probably almost a year ago, and stacked them up over here out of the way, and just never got around to shipping them in. Making progress. Should be able to get 4 at a time on this trailer. So what is that? We got 2, so there's 1 load, 2 loads, and counting those over there, 3 loads of cars right here in this area that are ready to go, other than a few more wheels. So that'd be pretty good, and then I've got some more over there if I need to get those out. And there we go. Got the first load loaded up, all Chrysler minivans. We got 2 of the 90 style and 2 of the 2000 style. I got a few more over there in the pile to get out yet, actually, of these. Then you got a bunch of other cars as well. And it's headed out to its new home. It's loaded backwards, kind of butt heavy, but he's not going very far. He's just going to unload it and reload it the proper way. He said he may keep it, he may flip it, get it running, and then resell it. He doesn't know what he's going to do with it yet. Doesn't really matter to me. We made the money we wanted to make on it, and it's not going to have to be cut up or parted out or nothing like that. And it's not just going to sit here and get rain on either. So I'm definitely glad to see it gone. Making quite a bit of room in this area now. If I could just find a home for this old international school bus and this old boat, be doing pretty good. I'm not selling my 8-passenger, and I'm not selling my camper over there. Like I said, I believe this car is sold as soon as the snow clears out west. That car there, I've had some interest in it, but it doesn't run, and I don't know why it doesn't run. I can't get it started. I'm thinking the starter's bad in it, and it's just not quite as big of a collector item yet. It is the Turbo Riviera, but if somebody would give me $1,000, I'd probably let it go. And then this truck here, bad deal on this thing here is the guy died and nobody could find the paperwork for it. So there's no title to it, but it's almost an antique in the state of Kansas. So the guy that actually just bought the Impala is thinking about buying this as well. So if I get all this out of here, I'd have lots of room in here. Come in here, tear that trailer house out, and have a nice big area right here. I'd like to be able to shop here someday. Skylar's back, so we're going to put the next load on him. I got this Avalanche and another Chrysler minivan. And it looks like a Focus and a Neon. So that'll make a good load for him. Kind of an ugly load, but it'll make it. He's heading out with load number 3. Just found out actually that prices are dropping $25 Monday. Today's Friday, so this is my last day to ship cars. So Skylar actually is going to help me out a bunch today, as long as he can. And I've got another guy hauling a bunch of cars in, and then my dad's hiring a guy to haul some cars in for him as well. So we're going to flood him with material on the last day. I've got a lot to get done, so I'm going to go into hustle mode, so I probably won't record a whole lot the rest of today. But tomorrow I got something cool going on, so I'll bring you guys along for that as well. Load number 5 headed out. We skipped the last load. And I got another guy hauling for me too as well out of another yard. And I think he's hauled 4 loads so far. So we're shipping him a bunch of material. Should have enough time to get at least 2, maybe 3 more loads out of here yet today. This will be load number 8 here as soon as he gets back. And it's looking like that's probably going to be the last load we have time for today, because they close their scales at 4:30. I can't remember now. We'll see how it goes. It's an absolute bloodbath back there. I've been yanking all these aluminum wheels off and batteries and converters and that sort of stuff. I actually didn't expect there to be any converters, maybe 1 or 2 here or there, but I think we pulled off 12 so far, because most of these cars that we're shipping out of here that are like this here, that have been taken to this event called Man Day every year. They do it every year, I mean. Those, they cut the exhaust off of them, that way they're loud. But that Subaru on top had 2 converters on it, and that van had a converter on it. Neither of these had converters. That one there I bought by weight. But yeah, anyway, I got 12 converters today, so I was actually kind of shocked. And there's still a few more on a few of the others, but they're all manifold cats that I'll have to rip the engines out with. But yeah, anyway, we just been pulling everything off and just throwing it on the ground. And we'll go through and pick it up later. So it's pretty messy back there right now. Just main thing today is getting stuff shipped out. Yep, that was the last load for the day. We are done shipping cars. I got 1 more car ready over here. We're going to use it to pick up all the loose stuff and throw in it. I've got a mountain of aluminum wheels back here to pick up. I already picked up all the catalytic converters and batteries, but like I say, I got all these wheels. I'm going to gather all those up and stack them back in the tree somewhere out of the way for now. I don't have time to dismantle those right at this moment. Made quite a bit of room though. That was a big pile of cars back there this morning. Those are all gone now, and plus there's a bunch over on the other side that we made all that area cleared out now. Kind of bad news, this converter here was empty, which is just an aftermarket, so it's not a big deal anyway. Those are only about $15, $20, something like that for scrap, so not a big loss. And there we go, got it all picked up. Got a bunch of glass and plastic on the ground, but I'm not worried about that. Got a big old pile of aluminum wheels over here. Those are bringing around 15 bucks a piece right now, give or take. Some of these are a little bit bigger, so they'll bring a little bit more, but a few of these are really tiny, so they'll probably average around that if I was to sell them right now. I don't really have time to dismount these though, so I'm not really too worried about that. I think we got about 5 or 6 batteries out, if I remember right, 11 converters, and then we sent in, how many cars did we send in? Around 34 or 5 cars today total. I can't remember the exact number. So I think altogether, counting the cars, the converters, batteries, aluminum wheels, and all that, it was around $14,000 worth of stuff, give or take. Obviously that's not all profit, that's gross. I honestly don't remember what I paid for these cars from this event. I bought these last May. I'm pretty sure I paid $160 a ton is what I was paying at that point in time. And some of them had converters left on them, obviously, and a bunch of them have aluminum wheels, a few batteries, so I mean, we did pretty good on them. I know everybody's always asking me, what did you make on this? What was your profit for that day? And that sort of stuff. So I can't tell you what the profit was for today. That's just the total gross amount. From that, you have to deduct what we paid for the stuff. You have to deduct time. You have to deduct fuel. I had to pay Skylar to haul the stuff in, all that sort of stuff. And so it drops down pretty quick. We don't make anywhere near that much profit usually. This area here was clear full of cars. They came all the way out to here. So we cleaned all this out. Made quite a bit of room in here so I can fill this all back up with cars now. Those school buses, I'd love to be able to rip those apart with the excavator, but the guy wants the tires off of them, so I gotta wait till he gets those off, and then I'll come in here and rip those apart. These cars here, a couple of these I'm keeping, like that Jeep up on top. That's just like the one I drive all the time. Then there's an old Dodge truck over there. You can see that brown bed through there. Keeping those two. That Cherokee, I don't really know why it's still around. It'll get crushed soon. And then that van, both of those cars, that car, the cars over beside it, most of those have manifold converters on them that I gotta rip the engines out to get the converters off. And then there was a whole bunch more of those race cars in here. I got out most of them. There's 3 left that I didn't get to. There's actually 2 more that I didn't send today as well over further on that direction, and they both have manifold cats on them yet. I'm pretty sure that Intrepid has 2 manifold cats on it, but then those other 2 I just gotta pull the aluminum wheels off, but save those for another day. Those Cherokees there will just wind up in the scrap eventually at some point. Those were here when we bought the place. All these cars back here are pretty well ready to go. I think 2 of those Intrepids still have manifold cats, but everything else pretty much through these trees is ready to crush. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I just got to drain the gas out of them is really the only thing left. And here's where my cabin was. I drug it out back, in one of my previous vlogs, and actually that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, is come out here and work on it for a little bit. So that's all for this one, guys. I will see you in the morning on this same vlog. All right, good morning, guys. We're back out here again. Today's Saturday. I'm not actually working today. I just came out here specifically to work on my cabin. Plus I have a couple guys coming out to buy some stuff. But for the most part today, I'm just going to work on my little junkyard cabin. It's going to be, I think they said 60 degrees today is the high. It's already over 30. So it's pretty nice out today. They're talking the worst snowstorm of the year coming in, middle of this week coming up. So we'll see what happens there. I probably won't be able to work on this at that point in time. So I figured I better get out here and work on it today. My main goal, at least for today anyway, is to get these seats out of here, or at least most of them. I don't know if they're going to cooperate or not, but if they cooperate, I want to get at least the front half of these seats out of here so I can install my wood burning stove. To make things a little bit easier, I brought my little impact. This is my small impact here. It's a really handy unit. I'll probably replace it with a Milwaukee at some point in time, but you know, really it works fine for what it is. I've got an adapter in here that I can plug into this, and then I can use these, and I should be able to zip these bolts out as long as they cooperate. If they don't cooperate, I'll have to do it by hand. Before I start on all that though, I'm going to get me a little junkyard fire going right here in my burn ring. I used it a tiny bit when I first burned off all this grass out here, but I haven't really used it for an actual fire yet. So I'm going to put some wood in there and get it started up. I've got a big old pile of wood and trash, not like trash, but like paneling and 1x1s and 2x2s and that sort of stuff. I forget what all's even over there, just stuff that was ripped out of campers at some point in time. So I've got all that. It's all burnable stuff, so I'll start dragging that over here and burning it off. There we go, we got that going good. Not that we really need a fire today, it's not that cold, but I've got all this stuff and like this painted wood here and that paneling and stuff. You can't cook over that, so I just want to get it burned off. When I'm actually cooking out here, I'll just use straight wood. That way I'm not cooking any chemicals or nothing into my food. I'm thinking I'm going to use that bus there for firewood storage, unless I find something better, because I got to find something. Like this stuff here, it took a minute to get it going because it was all frosty from sitting outside in the frost. Once I got that frost burned off, then it ignited pretty good. I don't really want to store any wood in the actual cabin because that just attracts bugs and that sort of stuff. So I need to find some other place to put it that's dry. I mean, I've got lots of options out here, but I'm thinking that bus there is as good as option as any. But now that that's going, we're going to go in here and we're going to start on these seats. Hopefully they cooperate. We'll find out here in just a minute. And here's the test. That's no bueno. Just spinning. Try another one. Yep, they're just spinning. So it looks like I'm going to have to do this the hard way. Come in here and grind them all off. I'm hoping the ones along the wall will actually come out. If those will come out, I can just use the Sawzall for now and cut the legs off. Find out here in a second. Can't tell. I think it came out. Yeah, it came out. It's loose. So that's good. As long as all the ones along the wall will come out with the impact, I'll go through with the Sawzall and cut the legs off of the others for now. Then I'll worry about the bolts later. Those legs are considerably thicker than what I thought they were. So it's quite a bit of work to cut them with the Sawzall. That is kind of a dull blade though. I've used that for a bunch of catalytics. I'm going to swap the blade out for a new one and see if that other leg cuts any easier. If it doesn't cut any easier, I'm going to have to wait till I have my cutoff saw. Wow, yeah, that cut like butter. So yeah, that first plate I had on there was just total junk. I must have completely dulled it out. Didn't look dull, but I must have took all the teeth out of it. Because that second one there just cut like butter. I mean, I did not expect that. But now hopefully that seat will pop out of there. I may have to finish taking that out. I crawled underneath the bus and looked, and there's actually nuts on the backside of these bolts underneath the bus. I thought they were just tap screws that were screwed into the floor, but they actually do have a nut on the bottom side, so that's why they're just spinning. So I think on the rest of these, if I get me a breakover bar, I should be able to just snap them all off from the top side if I tighten them instead of loosen them. Hopefully that'll work anyway. Well, bummer. There's a bolt at the front of the seat on that side as well. I did not realize was there, and the only way you can get that out is to take the cushion off. And I'm not sure what holds the cushion on, but I'm sure there's screws underneath. So you really have to take these things apart to get these seats out of here. They definitely don't make it easy. But fortunately, we're not worried about being nice, so we can get a little bit violent. That wasn't so bad. I hopped under there. There's only 3 screws holding stuff together, and then the seat bottom pops right off. Then you can get right to that bolt. So not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It is out of here. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to throw them out there in a pile on the ground and just kind of work my way down through here. I'll probably do at least 5 on each side, on this front half anyway, and see how long that takes me. I figured out another trick now. If you just take the screws loose underneath these seats, then you can just slide it over, put the extension on, and you can get right to that bolt on the back side. So I don't actually have to take the seat bottom off. These down here, I tried the whole snapping them off thing, and they just break loose and start spinning, tightening down as well. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on those. I really don't want to have to go through here and grind every single head off. That's going to take forever. If I had somebody here with me, they could just hop underneath the bus and put a wrench or another socket or something like that on the bottom side, and then I could just zip them right out. But I don't have anybody here with me, so for now I guess I'm just going to cut them all off. Boy, this thing is wearing me out, and I finally was like, I don't want to have to go through here and grind every single one of these heads off. That's just going to take forever. Be a whole lot quicker if I just had somebody help me. So I crawled underneath the bus to see what it's going to take, and the exhaust was in the way, so we took care of that problem. The exhaust is no longer attached to the bus. So now a person can just shimmy right up under there and put a wrench or something on those, and they'll come right off. That being said, I don't have anybody to help me today. It's kind of last minute notice, so nobody was expecting to have to come out here and help me, and by the time I found somebody, it would be time for me to leave. So for now, I am just going to go ahead and cut them all off, but at least now, instead of having to go back through and grind all the heads off, I can just zip the bolts out, and it won't be that big of a deal. Well, unfortunately, my battery is dead on the Milwaukee. I love this saw. I got quite a bit of juice out of that battery. I didn't even charge that battery last night. I used it yesterday, and then I cut all the legs on this side. I cut the exhaust off the bus, and I started cutting at the back, and I realized my battery was starting to go dead. So I'm really wanting to put my wood heating stove right here. I think in number 8 is where I want to put that. So if I put it there, I figured I needed to come in here and take out these 3 seats as well. So I got these 3 cut out, and then I got one up here at the front cut out, just so I can make a little bit of room to work up here. So hopefully I'll be able to get all of these out today, and then whichever of these seats that I actually was able to cut, then I'll have to charge my batteries and finish it another day. Well, hey. Didn't know this was going to be a junkyard treasure hunt video, and it's not, but found a quarter. See what year this thing is. 2007. See, I don't know how long this bus has been parked, but I know it's been parked for at least 7 or 8 years. I feel kind of stupid now. Of course, I've never done this before, so I'm not stupid. I just don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I found an even faster way to get these seats out now. I'll show you guys. This little doohickey right here spins. So you just unlatch it like that. The seat just lifts up, and now I can get right to that bolt. I don't actually have to loosen those up. Well, my batteries are all dead, so it looks like I'm done working in here today. Made a lot of progress. Now I've got it set up to where I can bring in my wood burning stove and put it in if I want to. I've got enough room to do it now. Got that one lonely seat sitting up there. But for right now, that makes a good bench to put all my stuff in. So I'm just going to leave it till last. I've got, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Yeah, that one's not cut either. So 5, 6 more seats I have to cut the legs on. All these are cut already. I just got to finish unbolting those. And the 2 at the very back on that side are cut. I just got to unbolt those. It's making pretty good progress. I went ahead and cut this deal out of here. It was just kind of a pain in the butt. I wish I would have done it sooner, because getting all the seats over the top of it was kind of a challenge. I had enough battery to cut that one last spot right here, and then I was cutting that handrail, and I got about halfway through and my battery died completely. There is nothing left in it. I mean, it's dead. So I had to take the Sawzall and actually use it like a manual handsaw and finish cutting it the rest of the way through. But I got it. I'll cut it off a little bit cleaner later so it doesn't snag stuff. Then I'll get this completely out of here later when I unbolt this. But for now, I'm getting it set up. I'd say probably about another hour of work and all these seats will be out of here. And probably looking at about another hour of work with 2 people to get all these deals out of here. And I don't know how long it's going to take to put the stove in. I've never done that before. I just got to put something down on the floor for a heat shield for the legs to sit on. And it's not really even a heat shield down there. It's more of a keep embers from falling and catching the floor on fire type of deal. And then I do have to put a heat shield on the back side. That way it doesn't catch anything on fire behind it. And then I've got to measure and mark out where my flute has to go out through the ceiling. Then I'll cut that out, and they sell things that go up on top of the roof that'll seal it up good and tight up on top. So we'll get all that another day. Actually, when I leave here, I'm going to go out and see if I can't find a stove. I don't know if there's any in stock or not. It's kind of late in the year at this point, so they're probably all sold out. And with all the shipping shortages and that sort of stuff, I may just have to order one online. I know exactly what I want. I know the style I want, and so I got to find that style. I can order them online, but man, shipping on those is just crazy. If you can find them in person, they're about $300. If you have to ship one in, you're looking at closer to $400, $500, just because they're so heavy. But there's my pile of seats. I'll come in here at the skid steer next week sometime, gather all those up, and take them over there to the iron box and throw them in there. I just noticed there's a ton of money in here. There's a quarter there, and then up here there's a dime and a nickel and a bunch of pennies. I'm going to leave all those there for now. Come through here and wait till I get the rest of these seats out, and then I'll dig around and see what else we can find in here. I'm going to close this back door up on it for now and head home and see if we can't find a stove. Well, I spent all weekend trying to find a wood-burning stove for that thing, and unfortunately, since I do live in a small town, there's only about 40,000 people here, the stores don't really carry stuff like that. I did find one wood-burning stove at an Orscheln store, but it's just a little itty-bitty tiny one that's mainly meant for ambience. It's not really meant for actually heating anything. It puts out a little heat, but not enough to heat a bus. So I'm going to have to order one online, and all the ones online are always more expensive than the ones in the store because they're so heavy and they're expensive to ship. Not really what I wanted to do. I was kind of hoping to find a used one, but I haven't really been able to find any used ones that are much cheaper than new ones, and I'm not going to pay $400 for one that's old that needs work when I can buy a brand new one for, $500 delivered to my door. Today's agenda, since I'm not going to be working on the bus, is instead I'm going to go around and gather up some catalytic converters and get that load prepared. They're talking 65 or 67 degrees today. I forget what it was now exactly as the high. And then that nor'easter is supposed to blow in tomorrow, and temperatures are supposed to drop below 0 for the wind chills, and we're supposed to get over a foot of snow Wednesday. So it's going to go from really nice today on Monday to really, really nasty tomorrow on through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then next week it's supposed to be back up in the 50s. So we just got to make it through this week. If we get that much snow, I'm done working for the week. Once Wednesday hits, so probably Wednesday, Thursday, I won't work. I might work Friday. We'll just kind of see how it goes. So I may not get a whole lot of recording done this week. Although if it does snow a bunch, I will come out here and I will do a video of walking around the cars with all the snow on them. Bring my drone out. I think that'd be pretty cool. The only interesting thing going on today, other than gathering these catalytic converters up, is I've got a van there at the yard. It's an old short wheelbase Chevy van out of probably the 80s, and it's a pretty clean van, and Mr. Good Pliers is wanting to come get it, so I'll probably record loading that, but other than that I probably won't record much today. Well, unfortunately Tim was not able to make it this morning, so he didn't pick that van up, and now with all the bad weather coming in, he doesn't want to come do it during that, so probably have to wait till next week on that. And that's okay, things happen. He and I just couldn't meet up today, not a big deal. So instead what I did today is I went around and I gathered up and bought catalytic converters and got a load ready for those to get those shipped out. By the time you see this video, those will probably already be gone, but I got about 650 of them ready to go, I believe, somewhere around there. And that's why I'm all filthy. I got soot all over my face and all over my hands. Got pretty dirty today doing that and climbing in and out of the back of the truck, loading boxes, leaning over boxes, palletizing them, getting them all ready to go, so I'm pretty wore out. Here's one here that my dad dropped off today at some point. I think it's a 67 custom, Ford Custom. It's all there. Interior's pretty ragged out, body's pretty rough on it. Now this side isn't too bad really. The quarter panel's kind of messed up, but the doors aren't too bad. But I don't know. This in here is probably just gonna be a parts car. It's pretty rough. I don't think anybody would want to buy the whole car. Supposedly it runs. I don't know what motor's in it. I don't know if it's a 6-cylinder or a V8. Guess we'll check it real quick. I believe this. Yeah, there it is. It's a V8. Huh. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. They said it runs great. Drives okay, but just needed odds in work. Plus, it's a little bit rough on the interior and that sort of stuff. So I don't know. Somebody might want the whole car, but kind of doubtful. But we'll hang on to it for a little while, and if nothing else, we'll part it out later. It does have a really nice front clip on it. Like I said earlier, we'll see what that weather brings. If it gets really bad, I may come out here and work in this for a little bit, try to finish it, unless it's too cold. If it's too cold, I'm not going to mess with it without having a heater in there yet. If we get as much snow as they're saying it could be, they said more than likely we're going to get around 4 to 5 inches is what they're saying now, because we're kind of on the edge of it. But if we do get that mega snow come in and those bitter cold temperatures, to be honest, I'm probably not going to leave the house on Wednesday. And you know, I'm just not quite desperate enough to go out there in that sort of weather and freeze myself to death. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to let y'all go. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I hope you have a fantastic day, and remember to get out there and find an adventure. We'll see you next time.